Hello everyone, welcome to Fableheim and another dev diary for Age of Wonders, for we inch ever closer to the release of the Primal Fury DLC on February 27th, so it's time to break down the art of the Primal Fury. These videos are split into two parts, one all about the dev diary, and the second part breaking down things that I noticed in the dev stream. All 5 of them this time. We're of course getting into it, so a lot of the new stuff has already been shown off, but there were still a few interesting things that they revealed. So for the art of the Primal Fury, we're starting off with a magnificent picture. Look at this. This is a very image-heavy dev diary, as they warn you, so we'll zoom in a little bit more. Hopefully there's not too much of a zoom. Ancestral greetings to my humanoid kin. For this dev diary, I would like to discuss the process of summoning this DLC to life. Be warned. It is an image-heavy thread. Also, don't forget to watch our recent stream. The art team, specifically the art director, the author of this particular dev diary, the concept artist along with the creative director, are the first to explore the DLC. Through the ideation process of mood boards, keywords, and rough sketches, we set out by exploring the big questions. Are we alone in the universe? What mood do we want to convey? What are the visual gaps we want to fill? And what would our players love? Death! Probably not this DLC. Your culture. When it comes to Primal Fury, we knew we wanted a new wild nature affinity themed culture. We started with some early mood exploration, playing a Neolithic vibe combined with animism, spirituality, and tribal motifs. Aren't these beautiful images? I really like this aesthetic. It looks very good. This isn't an actual race, is it? They're just freelancing. As designers, join the gap, we start to solidify a visual identity. We knew we wanted to fill the nature affinity culture gap, but at the same time introduce a new way to play via subcultures. We thought about how we might introduce these visually through animals, weapons, and costumes. We then start to concept potential lineups and unit types. I saw this one here, number 2, and was like, it's a picked. It's a picked. Need to finish that playthrough. This changes rapidly as we hone in on a direction. We put basic 3D blockouts in game and push to introduce new weapons. Instead of a ranged unit using a bow, how about we use a blow dart weapon? We explore avenues to bring in new ways to play with existing unit types. This meant having to create new poses and animation sets, as it comes with its own unique abilities. The ability to disengage, a very nifty skill to have. Wild culture weapon exploration. Blow darts. Some clubs. Respect. Oh, these have a specific name. I have lost it. Yep, lost it. But I think it's used by the Lizardmen in Warhammer Fantasy. That type of weapon. It's not a blunt sword. I suppose it could be. Anywho, after iterations, we end up with a lineup we're happy with. Each unit role and tier is communicated clearly and differently from one another. We have clear material definition, and customization options such as player and armor color. We split up trinkets like jewelry, furs, and bones so we can reuse them for leader customization. Clever. Reuse, recycle, rematerialize. Some of the champion gear looks incredible for the primal culture. I hope the Wizard King can use some of them. Or you can just use a mod to break it. Very good looking. That's the animus right there. We then take these 2D concepts and translate them into 3D by sculpting digital clay. Notice in the texture of the double-handed axe how the blade is really bright. This helps communicate readability in combat. Does it? It is bright though, I will admit. The nice staff. They did a great job with the staff, how the head of the staff is representative of the animal you choose. Very nice touch. There is the animist in question. And whatever that is. I think that's the tier 1 guy. We wanted a way to show the subculture animal picks across your unit, so we made weapon variants to visualize this. For instance, your support unit's magical staff or melee unit shield swap out depending on if you choose the path of the Stormcrow or Dune Serpent, etc., etc. I have not pre-read this. I just talked about it. I didn't know the shields changed, though. That's cool. That's cool. I really like the raven feathers. Although I can't help but feel like that would not be incredibly protective. Just a thought. And this supposed to be the spider. Which, again, not entirely protective, but ooh, the Stormcrow one looks good. Additionally, we create new skin decorations that fit the culture. We test to make sure that they not only look good on humanoids, but also the 13 other forms that we have. I wonder if they're going to try and keep that in mind as they make more and more forms. Because I believe more are coming in with the Eldritch Realms, too. The White Hand Saruman. An example of leaders that you can create. Aren't they all magnificent? The bird one looks kind of weird. That's okay. Your city has 4 visual tiers. It should also show that what wall defenses have been built and have room for units and a wizard tower to spawn on top. To communicate this, we have a clear breakdown and composition of how a city is made. Firstly, the main tower, which acts as the focal point. When it comes to the wild city, we opted for a capstone that would switch its visual based on the subculture pick. Next, we use secondary and tertiary towers, playing with scale and bridges to lead the eye to the center. We then place very small houses around it to really push the scale of the city. Lastly, we add particle effects like smoke, torches, and fireflies. Again, these are colored towards your sub-cultured pick. Look at the mammoth. Looks good. The serpent one looks really cool. Got the cobra hood, the king cobra hood. House and tower concepts, okay. I have seen so many of these every time I go looking for like assets for... The one most recently was War Tales. Always looking for thumbnail shenanigans, so I appreciate getting all this art and stuff. Oh, and here it is in game. A quick gif of the Raven, the Stormcrow. Wild city sieges need unique walls and houses and house visuals with destructible variants. The lighting and biome will change depending on the city location. Oh, that's cool. This reminds me of that one castle in Africa with the log sticking out of it. Same thing here, looking good. This is like smaller city. Would this be an outpost, maybe? Your forms. From day one, fans have been asking for a dog form. Unfortunately, we cannot make every dog breed, so we decided to narrow it down to what we call the Doge form. An excellent choice. Here's the initial concept art and sculpt based off our very own senior dragon artist, Maki. The Doge form indeed. Just kidding! Instead, we wanted to push for more of a beast vibe that tied well into the Primal Fury theme, so we opted for Lupine and Goatkin, more of a Wolverine aesthetic and demon goat vibe with really interesting silhouettes and horn customization. Here's some early artwork exploration and in-game shots. A lot of times when they're making... Oh, wow, okay. When they're making forms or characters in a bunch of games, they're really interested in the silhouette of the character. Even if you don't see the character clearly, they want you to be able to see the silhouette of the character and be like, that's what that is. To just know instantaneously. I want to do... I wonder if I can use the goatkin to make Draenei. Because we always call them goats. They're not goats, but they're space goats. We thought it would be a cool addition to add some extra life to these forms. So we added small ear twitches. Secondary animations like this add so much extra character for your creations, making them the goodest of boys. Is it time to bring back Morgan's feline race if they have ear twitches? It could be. It could be. Return of the Naga. We wanted to test a new method of major transformations that we haven't done before, and that is mixing in different animals into your form, being a half something. For instance, with the Naga half snake and half form choice, What would you call a half-snake, half-goatkin creature? We achieved this by essentially scaling down the legs to 0, and animation blending the top humanoid half with a custom bottom snake half. This also opens up interesting opportunities for future transformations down the line. What other half-humanoid creatures can you think of that you would love to see come to the game? Honestly, I can't think of any. I mean, centaurs. Centaurs would be cool. I think that's all I got, though. The Naga form. I can't tell if this is going to be incredibly overpowered or just weird. I mean, it's pretty spicy. Fast movement, amphibious, slip away, immunity to electrified, 2 blight resist, and 2 lightning resist. It's very rare. In fact, this might be the only one where a major transformation does not give you negative resistance, like things you're weak against. The Naga form is just a straight benefit. Although you do lose your mount if you're a mounted unit, and heroes no longer have access to the mount and leg slot, so you can never fly, but I had to clear my throat a little. And here are just a bunch of examples of Nagas. That looks weird. The dark one. Or is it because he's an elf? I'm not sure. We really wanted to push the Neolithic vibe here with mammoths and saber-toothed tigers. We go through the same pipeline with wildlife as we do with characters. First, starting with rough concepts and block out 3D. If we introduce a new rig and animation set, we think about how we can get the most out of it. In this instance, it made sense to also introduce an elephant as a variant, so we could get the most out of the content being created. Some early elephant and mammoth ideas. I love the tusks. This one has arrows sticking out of it. Poor fella. The final in-game models. No arrows, but lots of scars. And the tusks are looking great. Part of the art direction of wildlife is to capture the essence and character, much like a caricature portrait pushes proportions and expression to elicit a feeling. Below we see a small scribble from Picasso and a picture of a real pig. Personally, I find Picasso's drawing of a pig more fun than the actual pig photo. We try to use this as an example to push expression through our characters to make them more interesting. Here we see the wolf's proportions, snarl and pose, bring out the essence of what a wolf is more so than a photo would. I mean, true. Here we see that same art direction principle applied to the saber-tooth. Its snarl really showing why this animal was called a Smilodon. Was it really? Got like a Joker-esque smile going on. You know how I got these scars. We also experimented around with shader effects and scrolling, glowing glyph textures to create the primal animal effect. Yeah, they showed this off in game. Looks very good. You probably won't really see it when you're commanding from overhead, but it's a nice touch. We're also getting some cool new tome units like the Racial Stormbringer and the cute Fey Mistling creature. I won't spoil everything here. You'll find more wildlife surprises in-game. I really like how the Mistling looks. They're like evil lemurs. They're adorable. And this is the Stormbringer, as you can tell by the storm underneath their feet. And the Mistling. Look how cute that is. With this DLC, we focused on the forces of nature. Especially with our particle effects, we added powerful spells of mist, storms, and lightning. Yes, I have a feeling the Stormborn tome is interesting because it focuses a lot on applying the wet status and lightning, of course, storms. But you can like kind of double dip on the benefits of wet with astral tomes for the lightning, more lightning, and the frost tomes from Shadow, because it applies weakness to both lightning and frost. So that could be really funny. Really effective, more so than funny and effective. Your mounts. We heard you. You guys love mounts. So we really made an effort to bring you some cool variations that play into the Primal theme. We cannot wait to see what empires you create with these beasts. Zebra, alligator, tiger, lion, elephant, zebra. I think there are stags as well. These mounts below are unlocked at the start, and both the elephant and mammoth come as special race traits. You can now have reptiles riding reptiles, and cats riding cats, and not yet elephants riding elephants, though. We have the saber-tooth, the elephant, the mammoth, the crocodile. Okay. These mounts will be available as unlockable rewards in the Pantheon tree and available to all players in the game. Panther, lion, tiger. Is that a mastiff? Like a big mastiff dog? I can't really see. Zebra and the stag. So the stag is an unlock. Okay. That's good to know. I was going to have one of the pull options be, I guess it could still be Orion from the Wood Elves. But my whole concept was like, they have the stag mount, so I was going to have like a stag night theme going on. Guess not. Well, not until later anyway. Your icons and interface. I'd like to take some time here to highlight iconography and interface. What I find astounding is that every icon here represents a new gameplay concept with localized descriptive tooltips and coded gameplay. There might also be additional animations or particle effects with bespoke audio. Lots of symbols here. Good. This image I might actually save this image. Thumbnail material. As always, they look good. I like them. These must be the totem buildings. There's a new ship building. Oh yeah, that's from the it's like a new shipbuilding. That's from the Stormborn tome. We of course have icons from the tomes themselves. Tome artworks, 2 new tomes, and 1 per starting wild subculture. Oh. Yeah, they had to make a lot of them, didn't they? No wonder there's only 2 tomes. Just kidding. We couldn't have a wild DLC without having a reskin of the UI frame to match. This will help immerse you in the game. And you can now flip between them in the settings. Looks good. We saw feedback on the forest visuals from the forums and agreed with the sentiment. We decided this was the perfect time to take another stab at them by adding more variety and interest via additional meshes, particle effects, and color. Using previous Age of Wonders games as inspirations, we added things like little mushrooms and cobwebs. Before everything was a drab range of greens. Now we have fall colors for the Highlands biome, pink for the Arctic. Every forest biome got a pass. We'll continue to make an effort polishing the game and adding variety when and where we can, so please keep the feedback coming. Looks good. I love fall colors. We've also spent more time polishing interfaces, like adding additional parchment artwork headers and much more, making it look good. Finally, not everybody likes changing their unit's visual, either enchantments, minor or major transformations. To address this, we've added a toggle visibility button to the active spells page of your spellbook. The only visualizations that we cannot toggle are those that grant you wings, for gameplay purposes. Okay, so it's limited to wings. I thought it would be slightly more than that, but it's just the wings. So that would be the Demonkin and Angelize. Do they count the wings from the dragon one? They're really tiny. Yeah, we talked about this in a previous video. And that's all, folks. We hope you enjoy Primal Fury and getting a sneak peek behind what goes into creating a DLC content pack. If you're hungry for more art, please check out Dev Diary 11, which I believe was released before the game. It's going back quite a bit. But that was the end of this Dev Diary. It was quite insightful. I always like seeing behind-the-scenes stuff. I didn't know if I was going to do a video for this one, but it was quite pretty. And as always, if you'd like to admire the art for yourself, then you can find it in a link to it in the description down below, just like a link to the dev stream, which I'm now going to show you what I saw. Again, not a whole lot here, but my handy-dandy notebook does have a few things. At the start of the stream, Thomas showed off the new Ascended traits. There are 2 Ascended features. The first one is the Ascended traits, where a Gaudier that has completed a run and ascended into your Pantheon can choose a new trait. There are traits based off the various themes. The example being used was the Faithful theme, and for the affinity based on the tomes that you chose throughout the campaign. The specific example was the Word of the Ascended Prophet, which is an ability given to that ruler and to all heroes of that race. It is a 1 AP support skill where target-friendly unit gains 10 morale and strengthened, and the effect will cascade to adjacent friendly units and is repeated. Thomas himself said that was quite powerful, and I agree, it sounds very good, especially as an ability you get right from the start. The second Ascended feature is that your Ascended character will keep all of their transformations into the next campaign that they appear in. So whether they appear as a hero, or if you do another run with them, they will have all of their transformations that were applied to them. This is both the effects of the transformation and the visual aesthetic. It is worth noting, however, that Dragon Lords will keep their aesthetic choices, but mechanically, they still have to unlock the transformations via leveling up. Now, I don't know what happens if you have, like, for example, if Smaug were to return in my campaigns, he was full Materium, the breath, and the major transformation, but then I went with a different transformation. I can only assume it would override it, but I have no idea. After about an hour and 20 minutes of straight fisticuffs, very impressive, Thomas, for pulling that one off, proud of you, they showed off the Tome of Great Transformation, which is, of course, the Tier 3 Necromancer Tome, and it doesn't appear to have changed anything except for one new ability. And that, of course, is Reanimation Bone Dragon, which is the high-tier reanimate that is now available to Necromancy. If you kill a Tier 5 unit, then you can reanimate it as a Bone Dragon. The Bone Dragon themselves has not been buffed or changed in any way, and consider, when it comes to dragons, the Bone Dragons are considered like the weakest of all the dragons. But it is worth mentioning, you can get that at Tier 3, and the Bone Dragon, on top of being able to receive normal support skills, is also an undead. So all of your undead synergies will roll into the Bone Dragon, and I think it'll be great fun. I'm glad there's now a way to get a Bone Dragon besides the Golden Wonder. And last but not least, they showed off the new Eagle Rider, which is now an Exemplar, and I believe it has only been a graphical improvement. I think the Exemplar Eagle Rider is exactly the same. It just looks cooler now with a glowing sword. And the only other thing to talk about with this dev stream is that the Mistling is incredibly good. It was less the Mistling and more just the incredible evasiveness of Clinging Mist. So I have a feeling Clinging Mist will see a nerf in the future, but the Mistling being able to generate his own obscuration for it is, of course, quite helpful. An incredible little skirmisher he is. And that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed. There is one more dev stream on the 22nd, and I'm not sure if a dev diary will be associated with that, but if it is, I'll probably cover it. Why not? Thank you to the patrons and the channel members who support the channel. I greatly appreciate you. If you would like to say anything, feel free to join the description down below. A poll will be coming very soon to determine my first playthrough once I iron out a few more ideas. See you next time. Bye.